Hello, good morning, you guys, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps keep the video in the algorithm. Okay, so make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those great things. Okay, hope that you guys are doing okay on this morning. Okay, we've had several storms, okay? And it has dropped the weather all the way back down from 79, 80-degree weather to 44. It's cold outside, okay? Um Anyways, this morning I know I have not done any pre-recorded videos in a while, so I need to do a few right while I got some time. Um I wanted to talk about Pooh Shiesty being released. Somebody told me the day before yesterday, I believe it was Steven, reached out to me on Facebook and says that Pooh Shiesty had been released to a halfway house, right? We know that Pooh Shiesty and Big 30, according to Big 30, they're tight, okay? They're super glue. They are super glue tight, okay? Um, I don't know if they're in the same organization or whatever, but they seem to be super glue tight. And we've heard Big 30 talk quite a bit about how he'll be glad when Pooh Shiesty come home so they could put out music. And probably like over a year or so ago, there was even talk about, and it was just rumors circulating in the air. I don't know if it was being talked about, but it was definitely a rumor that CMG had wanted to sign Pooh Shiesty, although Pooh Shiesty is with 1017. We saw different CMG execs and artists, okay, throwing basically um I guess giving Pooh his props and saying free Pooh Shiesty or whatever. So I believe it was Jug and I believe Gotti a couple times. And I think that's when those rumors were circulating that Gotti had wanted allegedly to try and buy out Pooh Shiesty's contract with 1017. Now we do know that we do know that the exec, I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Gucci Mane, okay, had dropped quite a few artists, right? But I don't think Pooh Shiesty was one of those ones that he had dropped. Um, a lot of people anticipate or has anticipated Pooh Shiesty getting out. You've heard people say that Straight Drop has tried to, y'all know the Straight Drop, the one person that unfortunately took out Young Dolph, one of the ones, has tried to imitate or mimic Pooh Shiesty's style of rap. And I've heard many people say that, right? Um, but at any rate, I think with Pooh Shiesty's, because he seems to be way more popular. A lot of people was not really feeling Straight Drops rap like that, but it seems to hit differently with Pooh Shiesty, right? Um, I'm sure that Big 30 is happy. Now, y'all know we done talked about Big 30, but I kind of like Big 30, right? I think that Big 30, especially when um Big 30 is from Whitehaven. Okay. I be having a kind of soft spot from people from around the Whitehaven area because y'all know that's my area. Um, and I think I kind of felt I kind of when I started seeing it, but especially when I found out that Big 30 was so young, I actually thought he was in his 30s. Okay. And I think in the very beginning, and I've said this many times, but I'm gonna go say it again because it's my show, right? See, that's why people don't like me, right? Because I be blunt like that. But I'm gonna say it again, honestly, that Big 30, when I the first time I saw Big 30, he was on what's the guy's name? He used to interview a lot of rappers from out of Memphis. My brain is just not working this morning. Um what is his name? I saw him. He interviewed Black Youngster. Black Youngster gave him some money. I don't know if he took it back from him when he Talifaro. Okay, Talifaro. Shout out to Talifaro. I saw Big 30. That was the first time I saw Big 30 because when I started vlogging on the Dogs case, I kind of started names that was coming up. I kind of started researching them, right? And he was one of the ones. And what I can remember is when I started looking at Big 30, was that this was before his cousin had unfortunately lost his life. When Big 30 would smile, his eyes would light up. And I can remember on some of my first videos, I said, that young man, when he smiles, his eyes light up. His whole aura, his eyes, his face light up. I said, I hope he does not allow the evilness around him because I'm gonna tell you something. As talented as Moneybag and them are, Moneybag has a lot of darkness around him. Okay, he's talented. You know, in the past, he's had really good music. You can't take his talent from him. He's one of the best to come out of Memphis. He ain't the only best, but he is one of the best. But you can look at Moneybag's aura and he carried darkness. Even then, I could see that with all of his talent. And my kids love Moneybag. And just looking at him, he carries darkness. Okay. And so when I saw Big 30, and it could have been because he was so young and excited and impressionable, I said, I hope my words were on my vlog. I hope that young man, his eyes light up. He has a glow about him. I pay real close attention to people's eyes. Okay. I won't even do business with a person if I can't see their eyes. They got shades. Don't get your ass up out of here, you devil. Because I can't, I need to see what your eyes working with. Okay. Um, but he had a glow, which means he had a blessing, a light over him. I said, I hope he does not allow the demonic forces that is around him to intercept him and blow that light out in his eyes. Because that's the glory of God over him. Okay. Um, Unfortunately, some things started happening. That light been gone. When I saw Big 30 again, his cousin had lost his life, Newski. I saw Big 30 again. He was sitting in a car smoking and coughing. And that darkness, that Moneybag Yo, that aura that he has around him, I said, that child ain't even got that light in his eyes no more. I knew it was gonna happen. Okay. Um, I'm not saying he can't get it back. I'm just saying it's gone. It's been gone. Unfortunately, he allowed the forces around him that he thought, I think he started putting Moneybag in them in a high place. Okay. They tricked him. They tricked him. They unfortunately got into something, wanted to be loyal and putting Moneybag them because they were so happy for an opportunity. That's oftentimes, if you notice, those little dudes like Big 30 and Straight Dropping, all of them, they see all these people like Moneybag, Gotti, and all of these folks, right? Um, they are able to trick them out of their positions because they put them in a high place that only God should be in. I'm gonna protect the brand. It's blood on this. It's this and that, and they forget who is actually. They giving me this opportunity. They forget who really is the opportunity giver, and the opportunity giver is higher than Moneybag Yo and the Gottis and the Heads and the Zacharys. It goes higher than that. But unfortunately, they put people like that in those places that only the real true living God should be in. And hey, just like the children of Israel when they was worshiping Baal and all these other gods, they start to experience things because God says there should be no other gods before me. I don't care how much money they got. People are putting people in high places and making them their gods that they feel like got something to give them when the true giver, right? They take their eyes off of the true giver and they put these devils in positions that never should be there. Okay. And then God has to give them a reality check to take them back down to their knees. Because, see, I'm not saying they can't get back to where they're supposed to be because the way back up is down. Sometimes you have to go all the way down. As a matter of fact, you do. The way back up is down. You have to go down, regroup, start all over again, and start climbing up again and eliminating all that crap, all that different mindsets. He got a different mindset now. I think he understands that, and he didn't got so much into other stuff, and so much stuff has happened. So many people has died. He gonna need to go to Israel or somewhere and really have a renewal of the mind and a cleansing. Okay. And so he's seen a lot of people around him pass away. I think I didn't even mean to make this about Big 30, but I was just looking at Angie Stone's funeral. Shirley Caesar was preaching, so I guess I got to preach in me. I'm gonna get to Shiesty, okay? Um, but he ended up getting himself into something. You have to think about when I say that light is gone. I think he blames himself because a lot of those little dudes that was around him, he was the leader because he was put in a position, and they kind of followed him, and they was just as young as he was, young and dumb. Okay, I don't care how they been out in the street, they ain't lived long enough to be mature. I don't care what type of experiences they've had. Just like look, King has been subject to things and seen things he shouldn't see, but he ain't lived long enough to be mature. Okay, he ain't lived but 10, 11 years. 30 of them ain't lived but about 23, 24 years. That's no time, right? So anyways, we heard Big 30, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to Pooh Shiesty. We've heard Big 30 talk about and I kind of like Big 30. I praise for Big 30 because simply because I saw that light and the glory cloud that was over his head in the very beginning before he got it incorporated in all this stuff. When Talifaro asked him, who are some of the rappers out of South Memphis that you admire? And the first two names that came out of his mouth was Dolph and Key Glock. That was before he signed with Moneybagg in them, right? And he had his eyes lit up. He had a lot of respect for them. He said Talifaro brought up Black Youngster. He said, "Oh yeah, Black Youngster. He from South Memphis too. He from the other side of South Memphis." Okay, and but he spoke a lot about he spoke a lot about Pooh Shiesty, right? He even said he even I don't know if he threw Pooh Shiesty up under the bus or not when he told Moneybagg, well, you know, it ain't no fairness in war. You throw everything at a person when you fighting with words. He told Moneybagg how Pooh Shiesty really felt about him, okay? And kind of pull I guess he's forced Pooh Shiesty to be into some mess because we know how Moneybagg and them get down. Whether Pooh Shiesty is a better rapper than Moneybagg or not, probably not. But it doesn't really have anything to do with how talented you are. We can see that now. It's got everything to do with the popularity. Pooh Shiesty has some things going for him that Moneybagg ain't got. Pooh Shiesty is look, they're gonna get mad at me now. He's a cute little boy. He's handsome because he was born in 1999, so he's younger than my oldest child. Okay, I don't be wanting these little kids. When I say they're handsome, they are handsome. He's handsome, and he's got youth on his side, and so he's tapped also into a totally different audience at this point that probably look at Moneybagg as being old and frumpy, and a whole lot of the other ones, right? So he's got that going, right? So he's gonna be able, the youth tapped into the streets, tapped into a whole different audience that identifies with him. And then they're already anticipating him. So he's signed to 1013. Well, let me get back to this. Big 30 kind of threw some stuff out there. So we don't really know, you know, because one thing we do know about some of these cats that come up out of Memphis, okay? They feel like if they can't have their hand in the kitty, that's the bank, in your bank. If they can't have their hand in the kitty, they want to try to kill you. Okay? So Pooh Shiesty has the youth. I need to hear him talk because I don't know if he's got the personality. Because if he ignorant, he might not last too long. But if he's like most Memphis dudes, okay, They be shiesty. He got the right name. They look shiesty. So they have a type of personality. They know how to con you. Expect people on the outside. They can't con the Memphis women because we knows them. Okay. They know how to con you and pull you in. They got that type of personality. They have you laughing and shit like that. He might have that type of personality. If he got that, he gonna, I'm telling you now, he gonna surpass them if um Gucci Mane, who we know, and Gucci Mane cool, who we know it's different now. Okay, he's a little different. They say he done been cloned. Keisha done cloned him. I mean, I don't know. Okay, I think she got a good root on him. Okay, you know she from over there in them islands. I think she just got a good root on him. Okay, and so they say, maybe he gonna promote him. He dropped everybody else, from my understanding, except for Pooh. So he knows that he's a good asset. Okay, so is he gonna push him? Because see, I think what's gonna happen is CMG and them head endless. They're gonna sit back, okay? Because if Pooh already, people are anticipating him. They want to put their hand in the kitty, okay? Pooh might be real loyal to Big 30. I think that's one of the reasons why they ain't really did what they want to do to Big 30. Because I don't trust it. I know I'm all over the place. I have a whole lot of shit going through my head. Y'all gonna have to just bear with me because I forget. One of the reasons is because they wanted to use Big 30 to try and pull Pooh Shiesty in, right? I think that's one of the reasons that they've kept Big 30 around, because Big 30 has turned into a wild card. He ain't for their bullshit no more. He realized that they really ain't really gave a damn about him. That's one thing I could give Big 30, is that he ain't trying to fake the funk. Okay. He ain't trying to fake the funk. Big 30 is mad, and he has a reason to. The young man has a reason to be. Number one, yeah, he's got to take some responsibility for jumping into something that he never should have jumped into. Those are growing pains, right? That's just something he has to go through. Unfortunately, lives was lost. That's the thing that hurts me about it, right? Um, and so I listen, when people sit up and talk about folks don't want Big 30 and Money Bag to reconcile. I said, let me tell you something. Big 30 would never like Money Bag, and I don't blame him. He would never like him. Because as I've always said, Moneybag said the very thing that he never should have said, especially after Newski had lost his life. And people have say that, Newski was into this, and that. Maybe he was. I don't know. But for somebody as big as a star as Moneybag is, to jump up on his platform when he get mad, because it comes out when they mad, and say, I never told y'all to get into my beef. Y'all was riding my D. That means he was talking about Newski. That means he was talking about any of the rest of them that lost their life. When he never told them not to protect him as it relates to whoever he was into it with. Okay, allegedly it was a mob, good mob, young mob. Okay, allegedly, I don't know, but he never told them to stop. But then you turn around and say y'all was riding my D, and these folks have, these young boys, these young men have taken on, but see, they put them in a place that they should only have had God, because of they felt like because of their gratitude, they thought that they was riding with him, appreciative of him signing them, thought they was going to get some money, that he was really for them, and they jumped into something which unfortunately was not conducive to any of them. And then he turned around and bent over and gave them their ass to kiss after he lost one of probably the most important people to him. You could see how hurt he was. Okay. And so I think those words will always echo in his mind, and I don't care what Head and them do. Because see, I already told Head he need to have gotten that under control. Because Big 30 at one time was, I said it on here, I don't know Head, y'all. Y'all know I be talking shit. Big 30 was gonna hurt Moneybag, and Moneybag knew it. And so then Moneybag turned around and tried to backpedal when he did an interview talking about how he lost Newski, this, and that. When Newski was killed, I was looking at it. I don't think he really cared. He was sitting up trying to give the illusion that he was getting ready to buy a damn plane. He never even said rest in peace to Newski for a whole day or two until people started coming into his comments. I was watching and going in on him, and then that's when he posted. Okay. Hey, Big 30 was on. I'm gonna tell you something about this younger generation. They it's easy for them. They just act stupid. They catch on the game quick. And we see now Big 30 was watching it too, okay? Because he put it out there that he was, right? But will Pooh Shiesty stay out of the beef? I hope he does. I hope that Pooh Shiesty stays out of the beef. Him and Big 30 do something together. Hopefully they will. Like I said, Big 30 seems if he had been holding them down um and anticipated. I hope Big 30 um kind of lead Pooh Shiesty right. They when they start trying to butter Big 30 up, I'm talking about them record heads. He need to protect him, right? Because he gonna need to remember they ain't did him right. Because see what these kids do is they forget when people start throwing money at them and they start grinning at them. They forget that they ain't halfway treated him right. Right? And the only thing they want to do is get him away from up under Gucci because they feel like, or try to. I'm sure Gucci got his contracts and stuff right, but they don't. So probably so they can shelve him. But does he need to watch his back? Okay, I know some people ain't gonna like this, but I don't give two f's. This my shit. Okay. Yes, because if Pooh Shiesty get out there and Pooh Shiesty starts to really make some noise, in which I said he's got his youthfulness. Okay. He's got his youthfulness. He's been in jail, so I'm sure he's detoxed. Y'all know these kids be on all kinds of pills and shit. I'm sure he's detoxed. So he probably has had the opportunity to get his mind right. Hopefully he stay detoxed. Okay, Big 30 he need to get Big 30 to the rehab too, okay? And so he could detox. Big 30 don't be a bad influence on him with the pills, okay? Because you need to get you some help. And he needs to he starts making the money and he signed to Gucci, he started making noise, and especially if he starts to shine these two other record labels around that's Memphis based, that feels like if they can't have their hand in the kitty, this everybody got to die. I don't think they'll try with Gucci what they did with Dolph. Okay. Because they really know it's gonna be some repercussions with that. They ain't know how much repercussions it was gonna be when they did that to Dolph. Because they had been getting away with hitting at him and nothing happening. Okay. They didn't know they was gonna get a kickback like they did. Cause see, Dolph wasn't around no more to tell his dudes, Fizzle and all of them, to calm down. Those are dudes that's out in the street. Okay. That believe in an eye for an eye. Okay. So they didn't know they was gonna get a kickback like that. So Pooh Shiesty, who's tapped into the streets, we see now that it's easy. Folks be jealous of you, little dudes that you was around. They see you getting a whole lot of shine. It'll be easy for them to get them. I mean, probably $800. You see what they gave Cornelius, but you talking about 25,000 to try and line him up. If they can't have their hand in the kitty, he's shining them and he's shining, which is what he said to do. So yes, we know that there are labels in Memphis that has a history of wanting to take out folks that shines, and they can't have their damn hand in the kitty. I'll be so glad when the feds get them. Because these kids have a right, these men have a right to live, and women. Because from my they put my understand they be trying to put hits on women. They got a right to shine. If these artists, these young boys who just trying to create generational wealth for their family, don't want these old ass bastards hand in the kitty. Okay. So yes, I think you need to watch his back. Big 30 needs to go detox because if they get them, he get his mind right. Him and Pooh Shiesty together because they got their youthfulness going for them. They tapped into the streets. They got a whole different audience. Plus, they have an audience also because of being affiliated with Moneybag and them. So they got the old folks and the young people. They can really do their thing. But then you have them green-eyed devils watching them and mad. Because from my understanding, Pooh Shiesty real blunt. If they can't put their hand in the kitty, let me see if I could. Let me see some Pooh Shiesty interview. Let me see, because I've never even heard them talk. When I listen to people talk, I can basically tell you about how their personality is. Okay, let me see. He sound better than Straight Drop. Hell, hold on, hold on, y'all. Here you go, right here. I'm gonna listen to him so I can kind of try to size up his personality. You know, they teach you that in the academy. Okay, let's see.
My favorite artist growing up, Chief Keef and Lil Wayne, I say Gucci. Did I first linked up with Gucci? When you heard Money Slime, he DM me the same day you heard it. What is it about Memphis that make the rap different? You know, it's just authentic. It's straight real gangster music. How would I describe the sound of Memphis rap? I would say one word, grimy. Some of my favorite artists I want to collab with for sure, you got Weezy and Cardi B. My fans might be surprised about I would beat every last one of my fans in basketball. My favorite artist growing up, Chief Keef and Lil Wayne, I say Gucci. Did I first linked up with Gucci? When you heard Money Slime, he DM me the same day you heard it. What is it about Memphis that make the rap different? You know, it's just authentic. It's straight real gangster music. How would I describe the sound of Memphis?
Music. I tell you, he sure got a Memphis accent. I mean, that Negro dangerous. He seemed chill, but you probably have to watch him. But he seemed cool. He charming. Okay, he don't seem like he all rah rah like that. That's why he dangerous. You got to watch him. But yeah, he can definitely pull in a lot of people, especially the girls. And wherever the girls are, the guys are gonna come. Okay, so yeah, he has a I think he has a bright future. You know, and unfortunately, it should be fortunately, but unfortunately, when they can't have their hand in the kitty, two labels from out of Memphis. And they see this dude, you know, respectfully decline them like Dolph did, and he's going up. I mean, you know, we know what happens, okay? But I mean, there is still a God, okay? God, you just need to go ahead, cause anyways. But that's what I want to talk about, okay? With Pooh Shiesty. Um, that they're saying he's been released to a halfway house. And does he need to watch his back? I would say so. And I would say from every angle, he need to watch his back. Um, you know, I get to wondering about, I've always wondered, and it goes back as it relates to Big Newski, right? And I don't say a lot about Big Newski. I hated that happened. Um, I've told you all that with the King's Gates. I remember and really the King's Gate, they call it the King's Gates, but The Kingsgate apartments was really on the back. They've torn them down of those apartments that they've called the Windsors. That's the first name when they first put them up. They were very beautiful apartments. They've had so many names since then, right? And it has always been a narrow drive. I think I put this into the atmosphere a couple years ago when this happened to Newski, and I was like, any and everybody don't just go back there. And I remember one of the officers that made the scene, I knew, and this was just one of the patrolmen, and it was very new, and people was talking about he had been killed, and I didn't know who he was. I remember reaching out to one of the patrolmen that made the scene, that patrol, that ward. And y'all know that's what police officers call their areas. They have the Whitehaven area, but they have wards, right? In the Whitehaven area. I forget what number is the South. I think the first number of the South is 2. No, I think downtown was 2. I can't really remember. But let's just say 237 Ward would probably patrol like Mill Branch all the way around to Elvis Presley and stop right before you get to Westwood, right? So, or something like that. But they're like wards in those areas, and so that was his ward around Mill Branch, Elvis Presley, Winchester, okay, around that circle. And so he was one of the ones that made that scene. And I remember asking him what happened. It was still very new, and it could be it's been some years, maybe there's some new developments, maybe not. But the first thing he said to me was somebody he knew did this. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know. When things are very new, I mean, oftentimes police officers won't say anything. What made him say that? I don't know, because what they have to do is anytime there's a crime scene, they immediately get out and start trying to and immediately get out and start talking to the people around that area. People that saw something, people just taking information from people. Some people say things off of the record. Um, it's basically they have to go through and scan through and comb through everything that they've been told, because that's how they start taking notes to give to the investigators so that they can follow up and comb through a whole lot of stuff. And it was weird that that's one of the first things he said. And I started thinking about, I was like, well, any and everybody is not going to go back there, because it's not easy to get out. It's narrow. It is. It's just not easy to go and spin the block and come out. It's just not. So, I don't know. But I think all of these young men should be careful. Oh, excuse me, because we see what happens. I think the only thing that has really slowed a lot of these labels down as it relates to rap. I'm talking about all these generic labels, okay? Down from getting this insurance money and stuff is that the feds is on top of their heads. And all people, they always talking about the feds on top of their heads. They are, because we saw rappers and stuff dying and being put into situations probably almost every other month, right? I think because these labels and stuff are, they are under some type of investigation of some or another, it has kind of slown that down. And so I think what these boys need to do is they really need to be wise, um, and don't forget how what you saw, the sneakiness that they presented to you, how they treated you, and then all of a sudden now they wanna, Pooh Shiesty is out. They know that Big 30, Pooh Shiesty would trust Big 30, right? And so they would use that. Um, um, be nice to Big 30 to get to reassure Pooh Shiesty blindly. So Big 30 don't need to forget, okay? Of things that have happened prior, right? But anyways, you guys, listen, hey, this is my take on it. Okay, this is definitely my take on it. Hey, hopefully the young man stays out of trouble. He do his thing. He don't get into no beefs. Um, and he just do his thing because people have been anticipating him. He's one of those rappers from out of Memphis that I think can go extremely far. People was ready for him, um, and I think he should use that. I hope it don't be a case of, once they see they can't have their hand in the kid. Because see, I'm gonna tell you something. When Lil Kenny got out, BEO Lil Kenny got out. BEO Lil Kenny was blazing. BEO Kenny had a sound. You heard people say that he so reminded them of like Easy E. Okay. And people, believe it or not, they miss those sounds. You know what I mean? Like, um, when you're reminded of big rappers like Easy E and all of that, except for you, you're like the new aged one. Okay. Um, and BEO Kennedy was blazing, and then we saw, because he was consistently blazing like he was. And who is he signed to? Because BEO is signed to somebody. Okay. Um something happened, right? They ended up consistently trying to um get him violated. They started trying to get him violated. He was putting out hot stuff. I'ma spin the block like the neighborhood watch. I mean, you had everybody saying that's a catchy hook, right? He was blazing, right? They was doing their thing. We saw um how people had started to definitely take a interest, more of an interest in Young Mob. I think as far as the rappers that was in there, we saw Kenny Money was affiliated with. I mean, they just as a or they was taking an interest in those young men. And then somebody got jealous and I think and started trying to dismantle that. And they started yeah, they started trying to dismantle that. And I don't think it had anything to do with other than they was climbing, right? They saw the potential there. And so they started trying to throw a dagger in that. And we see that's what happens. Okay. Anyways, we all speculates on who that is, child, who did that. I mean, I guess we don't have to speculate because there's some paperwork circulating showing some initials. I don't know if the paperwork real or not, so I don't talk about it. Okay, but hey, it probably is real. But anyways, I digress. But anyways, you guys, that's what I want to talk about. Hopefully, Pooh Shiesty, he starts to make his music and he starts to do his thing and he stays out of the trouble and don't let people bring the trouble to him. Get to the money. Okay, like he needs to remember what Young Dolph said. Young Dolph left so many nuggets behind for these dudes. Rule number one, get the money. Rule number two, don't forget to get the money. Okay. All else is asinine. It's obsolete. Okay, it's an oxymoron. Okay. Anyways, you guys, I just wanted to talk about that. I haven't done a recorded video in so long. Y'all see I got on here and then got to talking for 40 minutes. I just when I don't have nothing else to do, I just like to get on here and talk to you all. Okay. Anyways, you guys, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App.